The mere mention of Stephen Curry's unforgettable, earth-scorching prime-time performance against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Feb. 27, 2016 draws a chuckle from Los Angeles Lakers rookie Anthony Brown. Standing on the sidelines at his team's practice facility 48 hours later, the Stanford graduate smiles and looks down at his sneakers when asked about his initial reaction to Curry's 46-point eruption. "No comment, man," Brown laughed. "I've never seen anything like it. OKC was up 7. And I turned to my friend and said Golden State is gonna win this game. Sure enough, they did." Curry is the best basketball player alive and arguably the most potent offensive weapon in NBA history. For youngsters with uncertain futures, Curry's path is proof that players can overcome insurmountable odds. Yes, the league's leading scorer was a lottery pick. Yes, players are realistic and aware that much of what makes him so otherworldly is unrepeatable. To duplicate the accuracy of Curry's jumper by stepping in a gym and firing up 10,000 shots a day is not possible. It'd be like singing a song over and over again with the belief that your voice will eventually sound like Beyoncé's. But some of what makes Curry so special is within reach, and his own evolution can still motivate and inspire younger players who are constantly sharpening their own skill set. 4-time NBA champion, 8-time All-NBA, 2-time scoring champ, 2-time NBA MVP, including the only unanimous selection in league history, all-time leader in three-pointers made. For any other player, this resume alone would merit significant consideration as the greatest to ever play basketball. But for whatever reason, fans, analysts, and especially former players have consistently neglected to include Golden State Warriors guard Stephen Curry alongside the usual GOAT candidates of Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Wilt Chamberlain. Whether it's because of his cherubic visage, the fact that the majority of his points come from a shot that didn't exist in the NBA until 1979, or simply the mind-warping reality that he plays unlike any athlete who came before him, Curry has traditionally been seen as an anomaly, a freak with a God-given, superhuman penchant for throwing a ball into a hoop, whose immense success is purely the result of rule changes that limit the brutal physicality that would have relegated him to mediocre status in any preceding year. To a large degree, Curry silenced those critics with his breathtaking performance in the 2022 NBA Finals, which earned him his first Finals MVP trophy, one of the few unattained accolades left to place on his mantle. Since June, critics have been much more willing to place Curry in the pantheon of NBA greats, since he's rendered it impossible for them not to. Case in point, Hall of Famer and current TV analyst Shaquille O'Neal recently heaped praise on Curry that seems all too uncommon. On the latest episode of The Big Podcast with Shaq, the former center, completely unprovoked, called Curry the best player in the world. O'Neal was discussing the upcoming NBA season with his Inside the NBA co-star Kenny Smith along with his podcast co-hosts Nichelle Turner and Spice Adams. When the subject of the Western Conference came up, Smith argued that the West could be as powerful as it's ever been, and O'Neal rebutted by saying that the Warriors should be the outright favorites. "Nobody's gonna beat the best player in the world, Steph Curry," O'Neal said. When pressed about his statement, O'Neal didn't hesitate to double down, saying, "Yeah, by far. Hell yeah." He then enumerated his reasons for categorizing Curry at the top of the list of current NBA superstars. "The real ones are recognized by the championships that you have," O'Neal said. "Nobody plays better than Steph Curry. He's a tough shot taker, tough shot maker. I like where he's brought his career. I love Rocky-type stories. Steph wasn't highly recruited, so to be able to work that hard and be the best shooter and one of the best players in the league, he gets my props for that. I love that kid." Smith backed up O'Neal's statements by highlighting Curry's unselfishness, and ultimately agreed that last year, he was the best player in the world. A recent celebration from NBA star Stephen Curry has made waves around the sporting world, and now it has been imitated by a young player. Curry recently celebrated after sinking a big shot against the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals by pretending to sleep. A video then emerged showing a child playing basketball and dropping to the floor to pretend he is asleep in bed after he scored. It split opinion among basketball stars, but what was most important is that Curry enjoyed the imitation. The Golden State Warriors star was not the only one who was impressed. Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James also weighed in on the action. LeBron blamed Curry for starting a new viral trend as he tweeted, "You see what you started at, Curry." There was at least one NBA player who was not impressed by the whole situation though. Curry's Golden State teammate Andre Iguodala said that he would make the child run laps as punishment for taunting the opponent. It seems that Iguodala certainly values sportsmanship over performative celebrations amongst young players trying to make it in the sport. Curry is undoubtedly the sort of player that young players are going to be trying to emulate in as many ways as possible, including celebration. He is an 8-time NBA All-Star and 8-time All-NBA selection, including 4 times on the first team. He has been named the NBA Most Valuable Player twice, has won 4 NBA championships, an NBA Finals MVP award, and an NBA All-Star Game MVP award. Golden State Warriors superstar Steph Curry was absolutely sensational in Game 4 against the Boston Celtics, going for 43 points and 10 rebounds on 54% from the field and 50% from deep. Steph would not let the Warriors go down 3-1. His greatness continued to ascend throughout the game, with his 2 clutch buckets, including a contested 3 in the final minutes of the fourth quarter, provoking league-wide reaction. From stars like LeBron James and Joel Embiid to retired legends like Dwayne Wade and Magic Johnson, everyone had something to say about Steph's historic night. A graphic from the NBA France Twitter page captured several of these and displayed them over a celebratory Steph Curry. Everyone from opponents to former teammates shared their live reactions to Steph's big game, with each containing some level of admiration for what they were witnessing. NBA legend Dwayne Wade had a bold message that didn't make the above graphic, urging people to stop spending their energy seeking out Steph's insufficiency. Wade went as far to say that the NBA's Mount Rushmore needs to be expanded in order to include Steph Curry, should he continue this level of play and complete the series victory over a dominant Boston Celtics team. There will be little room to refute Wade's claim. Perhaps the most entertaining part of Friday night's social media reaction to Steph's performance was the admiration of those who have been on the other side of it. LeBron James, who has faced Steph on this stage 4 different times, was one of the first to share his admiration. CJ McCollum, who recently made waves with some of his analysis regarding Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, made sure to share his appreciation for Steph's game as well. It didn't matter who they were or what their history with Steph Curry was. Nobody could do anything but appreciate greatness on Friday night. Even with Curry's incredible 2021-22 season, there are plenty of basketball analysts who would still place players like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, and Nikola Jokic above him on their lists of the NBA's top players. So for O'Neal, who once said that in a hypothetical matchup between his Lakers and Curry's Warriors, he would have laid his little A out a couple times to fetch Curry into the pinnacle of the NBA superstar hierarchy, is a testament to how Curry's late career greatness has helped alter his perception. Warriors coach Steve Kerr and many others have noted how Curry is in the best shape of his life at age 34, so the accomplishments will likely continue to pile up over the next several seasons. When all said and done, we could be discussing Curry as not just the greatest player in the league today, but perhaps as the best to ever pick up a basketball.